So welcome everybody. If you're on Facebook, feel free, join in. We're just getting started. So I need to let everybody know that I am not an attorney. So if you ask anything intellectual property related, I will defer you to that, to your attorney, okay? And so let's dive in. Let's talk about holiday sales. Now, holiday sales are, like I said, that retailers and other businesses look to actually kick their year over the top. And if you're on the email list, you saw some dates in there. We are about 21 days from Cyber Monday, days from Black Friday sales. Now, Black Friday is traditionally for in-person, you know the person already, they're in the store, that kind of selling. And then Cyber Monday is typically the specials, okay? Now, some of you are really early stage. You might be running a Black Friday sale or a Cyber Monday sale or some other holiday promotion related to your Kickstarter campaign or your Indiegogo campaign. So think about it in terms of crowdfunding platforms as well. And we'll talk about some of the distribution messages for your message to get out there, okay? So first key ingredient is you have to actually have an offer, okay? And it has to be compelling. So I've written a couple things down. What you want to start with when you're thinking about this is, what could you sell, right? What could you get people involved with? And you have to be strategic about this piece. So there's something called loss leaders. And if you're not familiar with sales, you might not have ever heard the term, but you've probably seen it. A loss leader is something that gets people in the door, whether it's onto your website or into a brick and mortar store. A loss leader is something that you're going to sell at cost or a significantly reduced profit margin to get people excited, to get them in the store, to get them into your website so that you can upsell them to something else, okay? So a loss leader, you could look at doing that. You could do something really low cost that provides massive value so that people create a great brand experience with you. Or you could also look at, can you do something special on add-on items? If they buy this, they can get that. Or they have to buy a certain amount from you to be eligible to get this other thing at this amazing price. You've all seen it. You've all taken advantage of it, most likely. Everybody from grocery businesses to Canon computers is famous for doing this. Dell Computers does the same thing. It's a really prevalent practice in sales because your offer also has to have urgency to it. With a Black Friday, Cyber Monday related promotion, it already has urgency, but there's a lot of noise and clutter in the market. You know, there's a lot of marketing messages going on for that. So it has to have urgency that's actually genuine. And you want to think through the timing of your offer. So when are you going to start it and when are you going to finish it? Some locations are already doing pre-Black Friday, like I mentioned. And then there's actually some specials that are just for Black Friday. Then there's other things that are just for Cyber Monday. Or in the past, we've actually occasionally run a promotion that'll go for 3 days over that weekend because our items are higher ticket and for people, sometimes we've found that works. So you want to actually think through the offer first, okay? What do you want to sell? How could you create genuine urgency with it? What's going to make the offer compelling enough to have it stand out, right? And then it's strategic. Is this a one? It's to get them. Is it a loss leader? They're going to add more to it as an add-on, like I talked about, okay? The second area that is a key ingredient is the audience, meaning who qualifies for this offer and how are they going to hear about it? Like, are they existing customers or clients? Are they new customers or clients? New potential ones? Are they social media followers? Or are they subscribers? Like, we're looking at, do we want to do something for the subscribers of this show, right? Could be good. Haven't decided it yet. That's kind of on deck for this week. So if we decide to do something, you'll hear about it because you're a subscriber if you're on our list. If you're not on the email reminders, you can get on them and just go to our website to do that. So you go to products2profits.com/resources, and you'll see the Product Business Show on the dropdown. If you're not on the list and we decide to do something super duper special for subscribers, you're not going to hear about it, right? So you always have to define your audience. Maybe you want to reward existing clients and customers by giving them something extra for a really great price. Or maybe you want to pull people into the business that don't have a business relationship with you yet, okay? Or it could be social media followers, like they have to be doing social listening to your messages to even hear about it, okay? Or they could be people that are on your email list, all right? So second key area is this audience fit. The third part is the mechanisms. And this is where people trip themselves up, okay? So the mechanisms are, how is the offer being announced? How is it to be redeemed? And like, how does the transaction happen, right? So for example, you could have, depending on how you decide you're going to reach people and what your audience is, you might be running ads, social media ads, television ads, radio ads, etc. If you're doing traditional media, your timing is extremely tight for television and radio right now, okay? If you're doing social media ads, totally cool, you're in great shape. If you wanted magazine placement, it's already gone. The holiday buying guides, all of that's already been locked up. So you're looking at ad platforms, you're primarily looking at online ads right now. You have the other mechanism of ad copy and images. Now for that, you actually have to be testing your messaging if you don't already know it. And what drives the sale, you have to test your messaging right now with a very small budget before the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday season really gets in full swing, so that you know what ads to put some money behind if you're going to do that, okay? The other mechanism that is probably going to be important for you is your email list. And that could be a subscriber base. It could be an email list like the reminders for this show. And it could be brand new. If you don't already have an email list, say maybe right now part of your strategy would be to do a Facebook ad campaign that pushes people to some kind of checklist they could get from you, right? About some topical thing that's related to your product so that they get onto an email list. And then when you're ready to push out a sale offer, you've got people to push it to, okay? So that's one potential strategy. You're going to need a web page for transactions or some other way to take their money, right? To actually process the purchase. So it could be an Amazon page. It could be your website. It could be a crowdfunding platform page like a Kickstarter or Indiegogo. There's a million ways to actually do the transaction. You could do phone sales, like they have to call you and have a conversation, and then you process it that way, okay? But you have to have a mechanism for actually doing the transaction. And they don't have to be really difficult. It could be a simple landing page with a buy button that goes to a PayPal account. But you have to have it if you're going to have the sales bump. Otherwise, you've done all the marketing and there's no way to do the transaction. There's no way to actually have the money come into you. It's all fruitless, right? So the other thing that you've got to have as a mechanism is clarity about how much inventory do you have, meaning how many people can take advantage of this offer, right? If you don't have it currently in hand, you've got to get crystal clear about the delivery date and from your factory or your production line of exactly when is the product coming, Okay. So it's really important piece to actually understand your delivery date or what you have on hand that you can sell. Okay. Your delivery date for a seasonal sale has to be pretty close. Otherwise, people get very nervous that they don't have the gift that they wanted to have. Okay. So if you're doing something over the Thanksgiving weekend, right, you're going to need to be able to ship probably by the second week of December reliably. Okay. So you don't have a huge window for pulling your inventory in, but you do have a little bit of a window, which is awesome. Okay. So, one other thought I've got written up on the board here is a lot of people say, well, how do I stimulate my retail sales? Meaning I have retailers I'm selling to. How do I get them to sell more? If you give them some signage, maybe some brochure, some coupon they can insert in some shopping bags, maybe you can get that done right now. Most retailers have already locked up their sales programs for the season. They typically do those over the summer at the latest. Something in kind of last minute here. So if you're selling gigs and you want to sell more, definitely reach out to them, but they are about busy if all goes well for them, which we really sincerely hope they do, right? So I'm going to open up the lines. We've got about 10 or 12 minutes here, and I'm going to take questions. You've got something about your particular product and you want to brainstorm with me, that's fine. If you want to ask some other question, that's fine too. If you are on the phone line and you want to ask a question, you're going to press *2 to raise your hand, okay? Press *2 and that'll let me know you have a question and we can run through some things. If you're on the Facebook Live and you've got a question or you want to say hello, type in a comment on the screen and that'll come across to me. So with that, just checking our Facebook Live here. There we go. Looks like that's all good. Great. I see we've got a few people joining us. So welcome, welcome. And let me go over to our webcast. So, okay, perfect. The webcast looks like it's clear for questions. Facebook Live is clear. And phone lines, you're going to press *2 to raise your hand. If nobody's got questions, that's awesome. I'm going to assume that everybody's either ready for their sale or they've decided not to do one, or you're not ready for it, like your product isn't ready. The one thing that I want to encourage everybody who's listening to this about is the same things that apply for Q4 sales, meaning the fourth quarter of the year, apply for Valentine's or Mother's Day or Father's Day or graduation. It's all the same, okay? It's how do you get your message to be heard, all right? The message getting through the noise and the clutter of what's going on doing Q4 is really important. So when you're looking for an immediate pop in sales, it's usually going to come from people that are already and have been sitting on the fence about doing business, people that brand new, if you have an impulse item kind of thing, okay? Like for our business, we don't usually have people that have never heard of us come on and, jump on our website and just buy from us. We're not really that type of transaction. So it's going to vary based on your product and what needs to happen. You could also look at doing like a 12 Days of Christmas ad campaign. If you're good with video and you've got, different messages and you've got a really deep product line, like some of our clients, you can actually run a 12 days thing and it's a different item every day. You could promote a different facet of your thing every day in social media. There's a lot of different ways to do this, and how you talk about the sale is really important. Okay. So it could be things like, you're doing a Cyber Monday and you know, you go, okay, how can I make that relevant to my product? You look at the features of your product and you put it in the terms that your audience expects to hear. And I could say more about that if anybody's got a question. For phone lines, press *2. We're real quiet over there, and it looks like the live broadcast on Facebook. Hey, everybody over on Facebook land, type a comment in below. Let me know where you're joining us from and what your product is. We'll post that up. And then let me go back over. Yeah, it looks like everybody's ready and all set or something. No questions today. That's awesome. So we're going to wrap early. If you know, we'll talk a couple more minutes here, but we've got about 6 more minutes. So if you have a question, something's been going on in your project, let me know. The other thing to keep in mind this time of year is you've got Chinese New Year coming up. China production is going to close down. So if you are expecting to place orders with a Chinese factory, just know that that's going to get really dicey coming up within about the next 4 weeks. They're going to start shutting down, accepting orders, and you don't want to get stuck behind that 8 ball. So great. Well, I think we are done for today. Awesome. Let me check our live Q&A one more time. And Facebook is completing things out of the show. Please do me a favor, share it, especially if you're over on Facebook already. Just click the share button right down there, and it'll send it over to your page for us. We'd love to see about another 300 people add a list for this. And see, today we've got people from, let's see, wow, New York, California, Colorado, Illinois, Washington, like maybe Canada. We've had people from Mexico City and Venezuela and Germany and Australia in the past as well. So it really runs the gamut. I see we've got some number ending in 0018. Hi there. What's your question?
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm calling from New York. How are you?
Hey, Maria. I'm doing great. I'm from New York State, so spent a bit of time in Albany area. So.
Oh, that's actually, I'm calling it from Clifton Park.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, what's your question today?
So my question is related to, you touched upon some of the past campaigns you've done for higher end goods. You've done a 3-day campaign. So our price point for our product is actually $99. And I'm curious what you found when you've done the 3-day campaigns, because it's not as much of a sense of urgency versus doing the 1 day. So I'm just curious on your thoughts.
Well, what works when you have a higher price point is different if you have lists. So who are you thinking of running a campaign to? New people or existing?
Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, new customers. We're a maternity product, so we're not really looking to establish a repeat buyer. We're looking more for the new customer who's going to chat it up with their friends, who's really going to, love it and, just share the message, basically.
Got it. You want to say what the product is? You can.
Sure. So
this is, in other words, hey, Maria, this is a moment for a shameless plug, okay? Go.
Wonderful. I love it. So, okay, we make Extend Her. And Extend Her is a clip-on jacket extension panel for pregnant or baby wear. So it's one product, 2 modes of function, carries you all the way from your last trimester all the way up through about 2 years old.
Got it. So I've seen, we've connected a bit through Facebook. So, yeah, we're in a couple of the same groups. So one of the things for your product is that it's a great gifting item.
Yes.
And it's a great gifting item from basically anybody to a pregnant woman. If you haven't seen this, check out Maria's product. Maria, where can they see it?
TheExtendHer.com.
So EXTND. Got it.
HER. That when you're extending, extend her. So that's the best way to remember.
Got it. So for a $99 item, that's actually not very expensive when it comes to baby products, for one thing. And the fact that you can still use the same coat and you don't have to go shopping for a whole new thing is a really great piece there. So I would look first off, your question was, what did we uncover when we did 3-day campaigns? We found that it was really good. Yeah. Now, for you, you might want to actually do this as, like, do you have other items, like some add-on pieces you could do or something? Is it just one item?
We do have an accessory.
Uh-huh.
No, we have a hood accessory, and we also have a different version of the same product just for less intense weather. So ours is mainly for the Northeast and the cold climates. We do have one that's for more mild climates.
Right. You might actually look at running an ad for each one, right? And when you look at doing a multiple day campaign, typically we've done those to people that are already on our subscriber list or they're already on our email list. And we don't send a lot of emails about it. We'll send one that says, hey, this is coming soon. Sometimes that's effective. And give people kind of a heads up, because our price point, you know, if someone comes in and they're doing consulting with us, you know, it's a pretty significant investment. We're talking thousands of dollars, but even bigger than that is the trust. You know, we've been fortunate. We've done a product with a couple of the sharks from Shark Tank and a bunch of things like that. So it helps. But what you want to do when you're running an ad campaign in Facebook and you're running it for multiple days as a sale is potentially give a descending deal. So the first day is the best price, right? And then you can actually back the deal down. Like say the first day is 30% off, the second day is 20% off, and the third day is 10% off. And then maybe even the first day it's, you know, the Extend Her and the hood for like some really awesome price. You can look at that and see how you feel about it and if your profit margin is good enough to do that, or something like it. And then the other piece is you can do the add-on item as kind of an add to cart for X dollars extra, would be a good way to do it. Basically add it as a cross sell kind of by the first thing, right?
Okay.
So I would look at bundling items, and I would definitely consider my ad copy and I would push it as a gifting item. Like I would talk to the dads in this case. That could be really intriguing. Test an ad that is it's kind of dad centric, you know, like protect the woman in your life who's going through her X trimester, protect her and be budget conscious and she can still be fashionable, right? Because
I like that.
Yeah, men are really protective of their women, right? For the most part. And I think that there's a potential message there that's kind of interesting, right? I would also think that if you went for the grandparents, that would be another really good section.
Yes. Well, you know, we just did a really great video and we tried to incorporate a lot of men who were baby wearing using the product. And then we also had a set of grandparents on a park bench just really trying to pull that, hey, this is not just for pregnant women. There's a lot of people that can actually use this product.
Yeah, I would really...
So now just getting that message across.
Yeah, I would really test it. I'm not sure that that's your best message for a 3-day sale. I would go for the gifting angle, the dads to the mom, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the more natural thought process. And I would go from grandparents to pregnant daughter. Because they're already protective of that person, right? So that kind of makes sense to me.
Yep.
And when you're running an ad, just for anybody who ever sees ours, we do occasionally run sales, like on our consulting time and things. We don't make it better as the sale goes on. It's like you want to design your offer to have people make decisions, because actually you're doing them the biggest service when they make decisions than when they sit in indecision about things. You can actually use indecision a little bit, right? Or you decide that, hey, here's what we can do on our margin, meaning this is the discount we're willing to give or something like that. You might actually look at doing a bundle that is the main one for winter, and then they get the seasonal item as well. And they get it bundled together for X.
Yeah.
Because that kind of makes sense, You could actually, you could do that as, kind of a good, better, best sale. Do you know what I mean by that?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean by good, better, best?
Is that related to what you were just talking about with the May 3rd day?
Yeah, there's a couple ways you can do this. So it takes some thinking through the strategy about it. To sell to new people, that's your intention. You could do a couple different offers, right? Have you ever bundled all 3 items together for a price?
Yeah, the most that we've done is just the extender and the hood, and we do a combination price for that.
How does that go when you offer that?
Sorry, my children busted it.
That's okay.
How does it go? Actually, that's sort of a standing offer on our website, so it's not a special offer. What we've done in the past, and actually we did it last Black Friday, was buy a full price extender, get the hood for free.
How did it go?
And that went over very well.
Okay.
Very well.
So
very well.
To me, that says that if that went over well, you might be able to basically and add, what would you the lighter weight jacket with it too?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
What price would for the extender, the lighter weight jacket extension, and the hood as a whole wardrobe?
As a whole wardrobe. Oh, like an actual jacket, you mean? If a jacket,
no.
We offered a jacket?
No, I'm talking about a wardrobe of your items. So the extender, the lighter weight one, and the hood together, all 3 items. Because it works.
What the cost would be. Yeah.
Right. And the reason that you're buy the full price, get the hood for free, it has a high perceived value when you do that in the languaging of a sale. Okay. So that works. But basically what you've done is you bundled the 2 together. So what I'm looking at is if you add that 3rd item, meaning the seasonal, the lighter weight extender, I bet you could bump your price point a little bit. So instead of being $99, you might be able to get like $135.
Yeah, I never even thought to bundle the two together. That's a really good idea.
Well, because women that are pregnant, they come out of the pregnancy and weight gain. So the jacket's a little tight, right?
Yeah.
So having the extension wouldn't necessarily be bad for spring, right?
Right.
And
right, absolutely.
And if they're in their second trimester at Christmas time, you know, a lot of areas you start getting unseasonably warm days in February.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. I'll have to sit down and see if we can make that happen. I like it.
Because you're get the hood free priced, extend her and hood and get the seasonal jacket for free, the seasonal extender, which was going to have like a crazy good perceived value. Or they buy the two full priced items and they get the hood, or, you know, they buy the whole package at X price.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of options.
Yeah. So I would look at, whenever you're designing a sale offer, you want to look at what do people really need and what do you want to sell? And then you create price incentives to sell the thing you want sold. Right?
Yes.
And so a 3-day sale isn't necessarily a bad thing for you to do, because your item is not a impulse purchase price point. For a brand new person, you know, they're not going to come to your website, see it one time and buy it.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a $20 item. It's not a $40 item. So I think that a multi-day makes more sense for you. For people that are new, you might consider, for people that are on your list that haven't purchased yet, doing a single day.
Okay. So like you were talking about two separate campaigns.
Right. Because if they're on your list, they've already seen messages from you. They already have a sense of your price point. Right.
Right.
So you have sales going on at the same time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because if you did it that way, how big is your email list?
My email is large, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I have about 500 or so. The reason being is we've been doing this almost 3 years, and we have not had one sale, believe it or not, from any email campaigns.
Really?
Typically, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so
we really don't invest a lot of time and energy in that.
Got it. So Maria, what I would suggest for you is that you take that you get some data analytics on people that are that have bought from you, and you figure out who they are, like who they really are, not just like their name and things, but the demographic information of who actually makes the purchase. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think people in New York City.
Okay. Well,
literally 65 sales.
Well, that's probably because because they walk a lot. They're not in cars, right? So jacket is really important because New York is cold. I would think Boston would be another great market for you, though. Boston and Chicago.
Yeah, we actually did. That's funny. You just nailed like the top three for demographics on Google attached to our website. That's pretty much the top three right there.
Yeah.
In terms of sales, we did do a strong campaign in Boston about a year and a half ago, and it wasn't that great. But then we started doing shows in that area, and since we have done the shows, the sales have picked up, because I do think, like you said, it's not an impulse buy. they touch it, see exactly how it works, it's definitely kind of the last piece that they need.
Yeah, check out, I don't know what your marketing budget is. I imagine it's not, Microsoft size. I would think that's just just a guess. San Francisco would be the other. Yeah, San Francisco would be the other great market, and then I would think Seattle would be good. They don't walk as much, but San Francisco is another highly pedestrian-oriented city, right? So I would think that you should run some really targeted campaigns and do some geo-targeting, because that'll help your budget.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. We do actually have a marketing team that does help with a lot of these things because, frankly, I was not doing it correctly. And it makes someone who does.
Right.
So, yeah, when we turned to targeting, it made a tremendous difference.
Exactly. And so I would test your messaging in those geographic areas and really put in something about, if you're something about the walking and the going in and out of different temperatures and, regulating your body temperature, blah, 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 and benefit to the baby when you do that. Because there is, which is the reason skin to skin contact is so recommended in the first hour after birth, is the regulation of body temperature. So there's a bunch of different messaging pieces there that you might not have tested already. And if you can test it in the next couple of weeks and then, drive the money into the ads that work. Okay. But think through this offer. I think you have potential for an increase in your price point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think
I like that.
Like how do you increase the sale per cart? And I think it's your second item. Like you could even do, buy the full price extender, get the hood for free, and then offer them a 50% off the seasonal one in the cart kind of thing. That would work.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because they bought this, then they can get a 50% off that. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of sexy.
Yeah. Your gears are spinning. I love
it. Yeah, this is kind of the stuff we do. We do a lot with funnel. So, but I'm so glad that you joined us today. I think this is the first time you and I have actually talked.
It is, yes. And I actually came across, I believe it was a sponsored ad on Facebook, and that's what brought me in. I'm sure you'd love to know how I found you.
Always.
Right.
Yeah, keep me posted.
There you go.
Keep me posted on how it works. And if you get value out of this, please share the show because, like I said at the beginning, we've been doing this for 6 years, every other week, and we really look to do a lot of things that add value to people. So I'm glad that you joined us. Thanks.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I appreciate your amazing feedback here. I've written many pages of notes. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Maria, I'm going to mute your line for your privacy, and then I think you know what? I don't have a meeting right after this, so I can stay. If anybody's got one more question, I'll take that. So if you're on the phone lines and you want to ask a question and be the last one of the day, you can press *2. That'll raise your hand. If you're on the Facebook Live, you can just type it in the comments section and I'll see those. So great. Okay, looks like our Facebook Live is clear and phone lines are clear. So with that, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Kick it off really well. maintain your own energy. It's really important to stay in a positive frame of mind and think about what is the next small step you can be taking and be consistent about what you're up to, okay? So you've got 18 days till Black Friday, 21 days to Cyber Monday, and then after that, you've got other opportunities before the holidays to really be increasing your sales. And I want you to think about this. You've got to have a great compelling offer, figure out which audience you want to offer it to, and then what mechanisms do you need in place? What ad platform? Where do they go to make the purchase? Do they call you? Do they go to a website, an Amazon listing? How's that going to work? Okay, so if you need any help with this, we can certainly guide you. We are doing a lot of this work with our consulting clients and our product success program clients right now. So feel free to let us know. And if there's any way we can support you, just reach out. Go to productstoprofits.com and you'll find contact us information there. With that, everybody, have a great rest of the week. Talk to you soon.
The conference is now completed.
So there we
Goodbye.
go. For everybody who is on Facebook, let me just wrap our recording here. And I'm so glad that you could join us and stop in. I see we still have some people here. Everybody's been quiet today over here on Facebook. What's your project? What are you working on? Type it in. And if there is something specific that you're thinking about doing for the holidays, keep in mind that you don't have to start with a really big budget, okay? Yours might be the start of getting into sales, of getting yourself moving. And the benefit of a deadline and a timeline is that it gets you into action differently. So keep that in mind. You know, cut yourself some slack, but still like generate something. Take some action. You know, we've had people generate, you know, $20,000 and $30,000 worth of sales over the weekend of Thanksgiving. So keep it in mind. You know, it's a good time for that. And anything you're doing as far as your messaging matters. So with that, everybody, I'll talk to you soon. Check out some of the other Facebook Lives. We've done some really great things recently, from like the set of Criminal Minds, and we'll be posting some more soon, I'm sure. So talk to y'all later. Bye.